Hello everyone and welcome to Shifting Gears. Today I am driving the new BMW 2 Series Gran Coupe. So the BMW 2 Series Gran Coupe was already on sale here in the Indian market. Now it has arrived in a new avatar, and looks can be subjective. Some people like me, we prefer the looks of the outgoing model. Some people might like this new 2 Series, which is now available in your nearest BMW showrooms. Now this is going to be a detailed video, a really long video about our experience from behind the wheel of this new 2 Series. This is going to be a really long drive review video. We will have two more videos separate, one for the exterior design of this car and one for the interior cabin and the space and packaging and features that you get if at all you want to buy this vehicle. This is the smallest, this is the cheapest sedan which you can buy from the BMW stable. So before we deep dive into our detailed drive review video, let us first speak about the engine specifications, because now you only get one engine option. The new 2 Series Gran Coupe is now a petrol only sedan, no diesel option available in 2025. So this model is called the BMW 218 Gran Coupe, this new 2 Series. It is powered by a 1499cc, a 3-cylinder petrol engine. It is turbocharged, of course, and it is coupled to a 7-speed Steptronic automatic transmission. The power output is 156 horsepower, ranging between 4,900 to 6,000 RPM, and a peak 230 Nm of torque, ranging between 1,500 to 4,600 RPM. BMW claims that this 2 Series Gran Coupe can sprint from 0 to 100 km per hour in 8.6 seconds. Top speed is 230 km per hour, and you can expect a fuel efficiency number of 16.35 km per liter. Now, you might think that it is just a 3-cylinder, this is an expensive German luxury sedan, but then you have the twin power turbo engine from BMW, which should keep things exciting when you are behind the wheel. Another important thing for you thrill seekers, for you need for speed kind of drivers, boost function is standard fit with this model. So that is going to ensure that whenever you want to get on the gas in a hungry manner, the vehicle will lunge forward with urgency. So now that you know the basics, let us speak in step-by-step fashion. First, I want to speak about NVH, because this is a luxury car. Today, I am driving this car, I am reviewing this car on the East Coast Road in Chennai, on the outskirts of Chennai. We are driving towards Pondicherry right now. Now, the East Coast Road is generally very well paved, and this 2 Series Gran Coupe, it runs on really wide and big 18-inch wheels. Another thing to note is that it doesn't get run flat tires anymore, it gets tubeless tires. Now this vehicle is longer, it is taller, but the width has remained the same. Another thing to note is that this vehicle is running on big 18-inch wheels with tubeless tires. So the 2 Series Gran Coupe now doesn't get run flat tires. This vehicle is now longer, it is taller, the width is the same, but the ground clearance has also increased. When on the move, right now I am at 60 km per hour. We are on a tar road, not concrete. NVH is quite nice. It is not at all troublesome at all. Now, if I pick up the pace, I am nearing 80 km per hour. Listen to this. This is how the rumbler patches would sound inside. And even at 80, there is not too much of wind noise or wind buffeting that I can here inside the cabin. It is very important to note all of this because this 2 Series Gran Coupe doesn't come with frames for the door. You get frameless doors. They look super stylish, but then of course they have to re-engineer this section so that it is properly insulated. The cabin isn't noisy, and they have done a very fine job with it. So this is not going to add to your stress, the wind noise, so you can drive this car for longer effortlessly. Now this is a 3-cylinder engine, but of course German engineering. You don't feel that 3-cylinder thrum as such, or that kind of noise from the engine which will make you feel like you have compromised in the engine department even though you have brought home a luxury badge. So that is not a problem. Check this out. If I try to accelerate hard, the engine doesn't sound any less than a 4-cylinder motor, and it doesn't sound tinny or thrashy like a typical 3-cylinder which you see in mass market cars. So no problems. Of course, you don't get the bragging rights since you have a 3-cylinder engine under the hood, but it accelerates fine, and since we are on the NVH point, it is not noisy on the bad side of the scale. It is acceptable. Right now, the roar has improved and the cabin has gotten even more quieter. The only thing that I can hear more is the AC fan blower, and that's it. I can do really long hours in this vehicle and I will have no problems at all. So NVH is really, really good. The only time it will bother you is when you are driving over broken roads, really nasty potholes. That time you will hear some thuds, and you will also feel some of those thuds because your vehicle is riding on 18-inch wheels, and the sidewall, the tire sidewall has remained the same, which was on the older generation model, on the outgoing model with 17-inch wheels. The sidewall is still the same even with this 18-inch wheel size on the new 2 Series Gran Coupe. So on potholes, those thuds, you will hear it also inside the cabin. And I would say that drive with extreme caution if you find really big and sharp potholes, because not only would you damage the tires, you also pose a risk to damage your rims. So keep that in mind. Now, since this is a BMW, the main talking point is sheer driving pleasure. That is their tagline. They take immense pride in that. You might have heard some noise when we were over gravelly kind of tar patch, so that kind of noise will also be heard inside the cabin. And now going back to the engine and the performance. Alright, yes, it's a 1.5 liter 3-cylinder, but I have been driving this vehicle for over an hour and it doesn't feel underpowered. It doesn't feel like, you have compromised a lot, because check this out. I am in efficient mode right now. The speed is at 55 odd kilometers per hour, and if I slam the throttle pedal, listen to the engine, urgent, rapid acceleration, and we were well over 110 kilometers per hour in no time. So the acceleration is there to keep you excited. It is just that if you relate it with other bigger engines, more powerful engines from the BMW stable, only then maybe you will feel like, okay, it is not as fast enough, but it is still fast. It is not a slow sedan. So just don't look at the specs and write off this 2 Series because it has a 3-cylinder motor. It is quite capable. First, we are going to speak about easy commuting speeds, because there is some kind of traffic in front of me right now. In efficient mode, when I have been driving this car since morning, right now the mileage figure which I have achieved is 10.2 kmpl, but we were sprinting in between and we also encountered Chennai traffic. Right now when we are out on the East Coast Road, the mileage figure is only increasing with passing time and every kilometer, because we are effortlessly cruising. Now this engine in stop and go kind of situations, in traffic, no problems at all. There is enough punch, and even to overtake slower moving cars, a gentle tap on the throttle pedal and you are good to go. You will not feel like you have to work the motor a lot because it is a 3-cylinder. So it's quite good, it's quite effortless, and now this vehicle is positioned towards the buyers who want to be behind the wheel and not be chauffeur driven. That is also because this is a very compact sedan, so it doesn't really serve a good purpose if you want to buy it as a chauffeur driven vehicle. So when you are going to be driving this car inside the city, it feels peppy enough, and it has enough juice to overtake, and it has enough go to meet the show and to do justice to the logo when you are out on the highway. I'm going to make a U-turn now, and then we will try to drive it a little faster if the roads permit. Alright, so pulling over to the shoulder. What I'll do now is I'll sprint from 0 to 100 or maybe more. What I'll do is change the drive modes. I will activate sport mode, and now listen to the engine. Alright, in 3, 2, 1, full pedal to the metal. A winding patch, and we are already over 100 kilometers per hour. Quite nice. I mean, what more do you need? If you are someone who is willing to buy this vehicle in a city like Mumbai, Pune, Delhi, Bangalore, where do you even have the roads to do this unless you go out on the highway? And how many times do you go out on such highways anyway? So for the city, I don't think this is any problem at all. And changing modes is very, very easy. You get different color themes as well. You get a different display on your speedometer cluster when you change these modes. You have a very beautiful looking curved display, an integrated piece, a nice slab curved. One screen is your speedometer cluster, your instrument cluster, and one is your infotainment screen. And it feels quite nice because it is curved, so you can very nicely stroke the screen when you are making any of the changes to the settings or your media. So the input feels quite nice even when you are driving the vehicle, and everything falls in place. Ergonomics wise, no problem. Again, coming back to the drive point, check this out. 3 modes. No, actually, more. So, personal, sport, efficient, expressive, relaxed, digital art, silent. Now that I have activated silent mode, check this out. Even the sunroof, sun curtain has fully retracted. So, it wants to insulate the cabin as much as possible. In this silent mode, have a look at this. Even the speedometer cluster, the display is very different. It is minimalist and it looks very, very beautiful. I mean, all of these things make a huge difference in your ownership cycle because the brand has paid so much attention to detail to ensure that every mode will suit a different kind of a characteristic of the owner. Now, if I go to digital art, it has started music also. I'm just gonna kill it. But now there is a different layout on the speedometer cluster, a different layout over here as well. The sunroof curtain has again rolled all the way back, so nice light thrown inside the cabin. The next mode is relax. Again, the sunroof curtain is fully retracting. In relax mode, there is more detail that I can see on the speedometer cluster. So it shows me mileage information, my odometer, and my trip. So it gives me all the basics. Of course, you have your speed and your rev counter in a very different manner, and you have the ambient temperature, etc., and your fuel level shown to you. But those are all the basics. But all these changes are given to you by default. All these modes and settings are given to you by default. So you don't necessarily have to play with each mode and make individual setting changes because this is really exhaustive. Next is expressive. Again, okay, do it. The sunshade is pulling back. Very different artsy kind of a display. Next is efficient, and efficient mode is what I really like. Whichever BMW I have driven, the most preferred drive mode for me has always been efficient. They used to call it efficient dynamics. I don't know if they call it that anymore, but it's a very nice driving mode to drive in. You know, the vehicle very nicely keeps gliding, it coasts very well, and it doesn't hold on to the revs higher up too long, so you will get better mileage as well. The cabin feels quieter, your range improves, and because of that, it just becomes an effortless vehicle to drive. I can leave both my hands at times because you do get ADAS functionality, so the vehicle will steer and manage the lane, but I don't recommend yet you do that. But I don't, of course, recommend that you get both your hands off the wheels, especially in a city. But anyway, ADAS has worked well too, and it is not very intrusive and it is not very noisy. It doesn't keep buzzing at all times, so that will not irritate you. Coming back to the drive modes now, and by drive modes I want to show you this gear selector section. A very nice flat unit, very good looking on this flat center console, and you have a toggle switch over here to switch between reverse, neutral, park, drive and sport. Right now I am in drive mode. I can press the lever again and now I am in sport mode. I am still in efficient mode, by the way, but now I have engaged sport mode for the engine and gearbox. I can also take manual controls if I want to, you know, make use of these paddle shifters. And there is one more party trick. If I hold on to the minus button, I have now activated boost mode, and the boost mode will last, I guess, for 10 or seconds, and you can really exploit all the power and torque that is available with this engine and gearbox. What you have to do to activate boost mode is that the minus pedal, the downshift pedal, you have to pull it and hold it, and then you get a clock which tells you that you have 10 seconds to enjoy what you want to do. And I mean, this is standard with this 2 Series Gran Coupe. So like I said, power is no less, performance is no less. It is just subjective what you are comparing this vehicle with. But as an individual vehicle, if you look at no car other than this, this is sufficient. Check this out. I'm going to pull over to the shoulder. What I will do now is select the drive mode to sport, and now I'll hold on to the boost mode selector, which is the minus button on the paddle shifters. So holding on to it, boost is active, full pedal to the metal. Rapid acceleration, nice and fast, and as soon as I get off the gas, it doesn't really decelerate very sharply. It nicely keeps rolling on and progressively slows down the vehicle. So because of that, even if you are someone who loves to drive fast, your passengers will not necessarily feel, you know, too much of a head nod. Of course, when you're accelerating hard, they will feel that urgency, that rush. But when you get off the gas, it is a nice, well-balanced engine and gearbox setting, and of course the chassis balance is very nice as well. So it stays balanced, it stays planted, and it allows you to have a lot of fun. I'm going to do boost mode now, again in efficient mode. So we will first try to make a U-turn so that we get enough space to try out this function. So let us find a safe space to do that. And when I'm going to make that U-turn, I want you to notice how effortless it is to steer this vehicle. this 2 Series Gran Coupe. A very nice, well-weighted yet light steering wheel at different speed. The weighted feeling on the steering wheel, it varies, so it gives you confidence at high speed. It makes the vehicle feel effortless at slow speeds, and anyone can drive this car in your family and nobody will find it difficult to manage. So check this out, one-handed operation, no complaints, no concern, very smooth. And we will talk more about the steering wheel in just a few minutes. So what I will do now is check for a safe time to try out that boost function, and then let's see how well it does one more time, because I really like doing it. I mean, it makes me feel like I'm going faster just because I have activated that boost mode. It plays with your mind, doesn't it? So here we go. Let's pull over. Let's have a safe angle of the wheel to launch. I'm in efficient mode. I'm now pulling the boost mode paddle. So what I have to do is long press it, but I'm waiting for the vehicles to pass. And now that I have hold on to it, it is ready. Boost mode is active. And check this out, the other vehicles were moving faster, but of course the boost is letting me just carry so much speed so effortlessly and without feeling any head nod under that kind of hard acceleration. What I want to now try again and check out is how long does this boost mode last, because after I got off the gas, the display now has gone back to the normal efficient mode display. So let me check out if it lasts only for 10 seconds or can it do more time in boost mode. So I have come to a standstill, and now what I'll do is pull the pedal again. Boost mode is active. It showed me a clock. It stays saying boost on that meter, on the speedometer, and it is still saying boost, sport boost, and it has still lasted. And as soon as I got off the gas, it has gone back to efficient mode. So did you count if it was 10 seconds or more or not? If not, this time I will use a stopwatch and check it out. I hope you're not bored of this because I am really enjoying it. So let's pull over one more time. Please don't try it at home, but this is how I'll have to check it out if it lasts for 10 seconds or more. So what I'll do is press the boost button. Boost is ready, and I have started the stopwatch, accelerating hard, and it still says boost mode on the speedometer, and it is beyond 10 seconds. And as soon as I have released the throttle, the boost mode is now not, engaged. So that is something that I wanted to highlight. So we spoke a lot about the engine in terms of the acceleration and its ability to be driven gently like this. It's quite nice. But now let's start speaking about the gearbox as well. Right now I'm in sport mode. I'm going to go back to D mode. Now in D mode, it tries to upshift as early as possible to the higher gear so that you get better efficiency in efficient mode, which I'm using this vehicle in right now. And when you start off, when you are under hard acceleration, because this is a dual clutch automatic transmission, it is nice, seamless gear shifts, and you don't necessarily feel that kind of a head nod. So check this out. I'm progressively building up pace, and it's nice, it's quiet. I can't even, make out that gear shift happening because even the engine is not so noisy. So It's a very smooth shifting gearbox, and also it is a very fast shifting gearbox. If I want to take manual controls, I have the option of making use of these paddle shifters, and also I can engage sport mode making use of this toggle switch for this gear selector. When I do that, it tells me I'm now in S3. I can take manual control, but when I do that, now it tells me I am in M3 mode. M3 gearbox. M3 meaning I'm in manual mode in the third gear. This is no M3. This is a 2 Series Gran Coupe. And when I have taken this manual control, like I said, it is in M3 right now, but it can hold on to the gear for as long as I want it to. Now, basis the speed that I am driving this vehicle at, it tells me M3, third gear is engaged, but next to that it is also saying 7, which means I can go up to the 7th gear because the speed will allow that shift to happen. That would be the ideal gear to be in if at all you are not driving hard and fast. Isn't that very cool? But even till now, it is in third gear. It has not downshifted or it has not upshifted. If I downshift, listen to the engine. It is holding on to that gear. But as soon as I got on the gas, when the vehicle senses that I have that urgency, that need for speed, it will go up to the rev limiter, it will bounce on it, then upshift, and then you will keep building up pace. Now that is quite nice. So even if you lose touch, the vehicle will keep upshifting and you will keep picking up pace. Now that is very, very useful, and that kind of, system intervention is quite good to have, especially when you are in some spirited driving mood. Now, I am still in manual mode, but as you noticed, I slowed down. I am now at crawling speeds. I made a U-turn. It has now downshifted by itself to the first gear. I made no gear change at all. Now, in manual mode, if I pick up pace, check this out. Listen to the engine, 5000 RPM and 5500 RPM. I can hold on to the rev here if I want, as long as I want. But as soon as I get on the gas, if I forget to upshift, the vehicle will do it for me. And it is nice, snappy and fast. You could have also heard some wheel spin when it moved to the higher gear and the engine gave it all the beans. Quite nice, isn't it? And when I want to make use of these paddle shifters, the gearbox is fast enough. And have a look at my neck. Even while downshifting, no head nod, no jerks, no hesitation, total control and phenomenal precision. The engine just does sound so good, doesn't it, for a small 3-cylinder? The next point, I hope that you've understood about the engine and gearbox bit. The next thing which I want to talk about is the steering wheel of this 2 Series Gran Coupe. Of course, you saw me make U-turns and it is very effortless to do that. It is a nice and light steering wheel. It feels effortless. If you are a middle-aged person, male, female, doesn't matter. If you have kids who are 18 or more, they can drive it effortlessly. If your parents, they still drive, they can drive it effortlessly. It just doesn't need any kind of effort to steer this vehicle. Have a look at this. Even the slightest of input, typical of a BMW. No dead area in the center. The vehicle moves as soon as I make any kind of steering correction. Very nice, very direct steering, even though it is light. And if I make fast lane changes, it's like a go-kart. Point and shoot. Do whatever you want and the vehicle will do it. Just it will stay on rails kind of a steering wheel setup. Check this out. If I try to mimic a slalom kind of a situation, if I make these fast steering inputs, nice, very nice steering wheel. Now under hard acceleration, listen to the horn. And if I make a lane change, Check this out, really fast lane change. I'm at 120 kilometers per hour. Sharp, tight, precise chassis. Very good feel from the wheel. It tells me what the wheels are doing exactly. And when I twist it to correct the wheel, to correct the body, movement of this vehicle, it just gives me so much more feedback that I am in total control of the vehicle at all times. That is typical BMW, and even though this is the cheapest BMW sedan that you can buy, no compromise in driving pleasure. So if you are someone who's going to drive this car by yourself every day, every time, you will have no problems even taking this to your nearest track if it is available, and just have some fun. And when you ease off the gas, very nice steering wheel. The paddle shifters I wish were a bit longer, but the steering wheel, it feels of the right size. It's a 3-spoke unit, very beautiful, nothing extraordinary, no touch sensitive buttons, and I really like it. I do not like those feather touch kind of buttons. Good large sized proper buttons with nice tactile feedback, very easy to use. The next point to talk about is the ride and handling package. Now, I have driven this for a long time today, and the vehicle has kept me comfortable at all times. I am seated at the lowest seat setting in this 2 Series Gran Coupe. My height is 5 feet 8 inches. I am 85 kgs. You get sport seats, nice bucket kind of seats with improved bolstering, they say, and it has kept me in place throughout my drive experience. If you are someone on the healthier side of the scale, if you are a bit broader than I am, then maybe this seat can feel a bit too tight for you, but then there is nothing you can do about it. It is what it is. But for me and my body type, there is reasonable space for me to move around as well, and the seats have kept me comfortable. Even at the lowest seat setting, there is decent support that I'm getting for my thighs also. I also have this extension if I want, but I have not really used it. Ride quality is good. The ground clearance has improved. So in our review drive experience, we have not scraped the underbelly of this vehicle anywhere. Also because on the East Coast Road here in Chennai, there is no, really bad road as such. If you go to a city like Bombay, then there is a lot of scope of scraping your underbelly because of just poorly paved roads, pathetic road quality, big nasty speed breakers. So maybe that is where we'll have to test it out. But so far, in terms of ground clearance, no problem. Ride quality on the highway, nice, flat, very tight, very confidence inspiring, and very comfortable too, because it doesn't keep moving around. Everybody in the cabin will be happy and pleased in their journey. It keeps you comfortable at all times, and the seats genuinely are very nice and supportive. But because of these 18-inch wheels, you will have to be very careful over potholes. Over some minor broken roads, you don't necessarily have to worry too much. You can just drive. You will be able to hear some of those thuds maybe. But if it is a broken pothole, a really nasty one, you have to drive slow. Otherwise, you can damage the tire and you can most definitely damage the rim of your vehicle. Now, that is a downside and a compromise with vehicles with larger wheels. You'll have to make peace with it and drive accordingly. But otherwise, overall, the ride and handling package of this 2 Series Gran Coupe is top class, top tier, typical BMW. Next, the brakes. Really sharp brakes, really sharp brakes. If this is your first luxury car and if you haven't, necessarily felt how urgent brakes can be, this vehicle can surprise you. The first time I tapped the brakes after I got into this vehicle today morning, I was like, oh wow, they are sharp. So I have to, use them, keeping in mind other road users behind me, because I know that my vehicle is going to stop and put the anchors down really sharp. Once you get used to it, once you get a hang of it, you know how much pedal to press and how you have to slow down your vehicle. But in terms of the ability for you to bring the car in your control if you were at high speeds. The brakes support you quite well. Couple that with these large wheels with wide contact patch tires, you get fantastic grip, good traction, so you can just slam on to the brakes and ensure safety for you, your occupants, your vehicle, and other road users. So the brakes are good, it's just that they are sharp. In terms of footwell placement, the accelerator and brake, they are well spaced out. I wear a shoe size 9, I have no complaints. It's a small car, but you have a proper full-size dead pedal. My left foot is completely rested and I have no complaints with that at all. Now, the vehicle, when we are driving it, the temperature set is 20 degrees. Now, because I don't want too much of that AC noise, that fan blower noise inside the cabin, I have set the automatic air conditioning at fan blower low setting, but it is still at auto mode. In Chennai, right now, when the ambient temperature is over 36 degrees outside, this sunshade is, pulled back fully. I'm not, feeling like it is a cool cabin. It still feels quite warm. I'm not sweating, but it is not a cool feeling. Even if I get this, sun curtain, sunshade back in place, you will see that it is quite a bit see-through. So, of course, it will block the sun, but it is still allowing light, and I'm not sure if this is going to help in any way in terms of cooling efficiency, because it does allow, the sun to be seen also very clearly. Also, this vehicle doesn't get ventilated seats, so that is a missing feature here in India, especially in hot, humid weather conditions. And people now just want all these creature comforts in cars just over 15 lakh rupees. So the 2 Series Gran Coupe should have had it. Speaking about ergonomics, like I said, everything is in place, easy to reach. This gear selector console, very nice, very good looking. Of course, the plastics might not really make you feel very rich, but then this is the cheapest BMW sedan, isn't it? You have to expect all of that. The AC vents look fantastic, by the way. The curved screen setup for your speedometer and your infotainment, again, very good to look at. You get wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Let me show that to you. Have a look at this. And I can reach the extreme end of this touchscreen easily, no problems. So, overall, in terms of my driving experience, this vehicle is fun. This vehicle is luxurious to some extent. It doesn't have all the creature comforts. But of course, whatever you get it in top quality, typical of BMW. Of course, some plastics are hard and they don't necessarily look very glamorous, but then you have to understand that this has come at a lower price tag, at an affordable price tag for a luxury brand. It feels good to drive. It is reasonably spacious for the driver, not so much for the backseat occupants. So for that, you have to check out our interior review video of this 2 Series Gran Coupe, which we have uploaded separately. So now is a good time to subscribe to the Shifting Gears channel and press that bell icon so that you can make an informed car buying decision. At the lowest seat setting for me, I can't see the entire bonnet, so maybe I have to raise the seat a bit, but I don't have a problem with that. I can drive with that kind of a setting, so I like it. But if you are shorter, you can raise the seat. You get an electrically adjustable seat, which allows you to stop the positioning wherever you want, so you can get your most comfortable seating posture easily. The wing mirrors are nice and wide, so you get a good view of what is around you. The rimless, electrochromic rear view mirror also does a fine job. There is one very cool thing which I want to show you, and that is with the camera. So let me pull over and let me find a shadow. I hope that you can see it in this camera feed. All right, so I have now come to a standstill. I will now engage reverse gear. Now look at this camera, alright? When I steer the vehicle, the angle is changing. You get this dynamic view. You have always, been offered dynamic grid lines. So you could always see grid lines which are dynamic, how the vehicle is going to move. But this time the camera is giving you a, moving feed. So you actually know where the vehicle is going to, be placed and positioned. Check this out. How cool is that? This is fantastic. If I want to move ahead, this time have a look at the front camera. I mean, have a look at this Swift parked here right now. If I move the wheel, now I can't see it. I can't even see that venue which was in front of me. How cool, how very cool is that? Now, whenever you drive your car in and out of your parking lot, you are most definitely going to appreciate this. Such small attention to detail features, they make a huge difference in your ownership cycle. At least to me, they do. And you let us know in the comments below what you think of all of these features that this 2 Series Gran Coupe is parking. There is also a camera on the inside which can click pictures if you want, but I think that is just a gimmick. I don't really care about that. But since this is a BMW, does it drive well? That's a big thumbs up from my side. I really wish that there was a diesel engine option on offer, because BMW diesels are super efficient. You get fantastic driving range, you get brilliant mileage, so you can just keep munching miles. BMW diesel cars have been great tourers, and I wish at some point BMW reconsiders their decision and offers us a diesel motor for this 2 Series. So that is it from me, from behind the wheel of this 2 Series GC Gran Coupe. Let us know what are your thoughts in the comments below. If you have any other questions, ask me and I will try my best to help you out. Till next time, see you. Do remember to subscribe, press that bell icon, and always guys, drive safe.